All right, we're live.
Hi, Savannah. How are you?
I'm Corey.
Oh, crap. Okay. Can we start over? I'm
Yeah, no
sorry.
worries. You're good.
See,
Let
this
me
is what I
see.
mean.
I can only pause the recording. Let me see. I can't
Okay.
restart it.
We'll just start over.
Yeah, it's fine.
Take two. Hi, Corey. I'm glad to see you today. How are you?
I'm doing okay.
Oh, I hate that you say just okay, but we'll get into that in a second. First, I want to go over a few important things with you just so you kind of have an idea as to what to expect and just some general knowledge on counseling.
Okay.
First, I want to start off by letting you know that everything that we talk about here is confidential, which means I will not be sharing your information with anyone without your permission. However, there are a few exceptions. If you tell me that you're thinking about hurting yourself or someone else, any type of abuse that involves a child, elderly person, or anybody that can be considered a vulnerable adult, or if there are records requested by the court or I have a subpoena for it, I would be required to report that. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. And then I also wanted to talk to you about informed consent. So counseling is something that is voluntary, and you have the right to refuse any sessions, stop services, and you have the right to ask any questions that you want to. Um, I just want you to know and understand that I'm here to support you. And if at any time you feel uncomfortable with the sessions or any goals that are set, you are allowed to voice that and we can work on that. Does that sound okay to you?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay. Also, before we get started on our initial session, I did just want to complete an intake that helped me get an understanding of your background, the reason you're here, and how I can best support you. I will warn you that some of these questions may be a little bit personal,
Mhm.
but it's just so I can get a better understanding of you. Um, if at any time you feel uncomfortable with this or you have any issues, you feel things are getting too personal or it's too hard to talk about, just let me know.
Okay.
Okay. So first and foremost, I know you said you're just feeling okay today. Why are we just feeling okay?
I have some stressors going on. So first and foremost, my partner and I, we've had a really great relationship. Recently, things have been a little bit stressful. His dad has cancer and he's essentially dying. So that's put a new strain on us, and not really knowing how to be there for him. Just knowing that it's going to happen relatively soon, it's inevitable, and just seeing him go through that, and it's put a strain on our relationship. That's been kind of the biggest thing. But then also just, general life stress, just work and school and all of that. So,
Wow. I can definitely understand how that could be a hard pill to swallow. And I can understand the struggle with trying to help him work through those things when you may have your own feelings about that
mhm,
situation at hand and just trying to help him work through that and that's a lot. That's a big
mhm.
responsibility to carry and especially emotionally. So I definitely understand that. You did say that you have some other stressors that's going on, just as far as like life things in general. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, it's not really anything too significant, I guess, like any individual thing by itself. It's more so just trying to figure out how to get everything that I need to done every single day. It's a lot. I feel like um, I did choose this. I chose to work full time and go to school and, try to do this to better myself and my future, but it is a lot. Um, and just trying to get everything that I need to done. It's demanding.
Yeah, I understand. And like you said, that can definitely be a lot. I understand that you did make the choice to work full time, to go to school full time, and with everything else that you have going on, that is a lot to juggle. But hopefully we can set some goals to work through that. Um, so let's discuss like background things. Do you feel like there's anything that you may need to deal with aside from the things you just told me? Like, is there anything from your past that you might want to work through?
Um, Maybe. I mean, I feel like I've worked through a lot of things. I have done therapy in the past, and a lot of it has been centered around my family relationships. I've had a difficult time with my mother, but I feel like I've pretty much worked through that in past therapy. But now I think the main thing, family wise, is probably the relationship between me and my brother and my dad. I still haven't really worked through that, and that's kind of been a newer thing in my life that I've been struggling with those relationships. Um, and then also just generally, I've been dealing with depression and anxiety since I was a teenager. So it's just been basically my entire adult life and part of my childhood. But, I manage the best I can. So,
Okay. So just to touch base on everything that you said, I do understand that you do want to work on the relationship with your brother and your dad and just kind of get an idea of what that's supposed to look like. I do want to discuss that, but I do want to go back to where you said you've been struggling with depression and anxiety just about your whole life. What do you feel is the trigger for those things?
I don't know if there's really any particular trigger. I feel like it's just kind of been a baseline. The depression got pretty bad when I was in my undergrad. And fortunately, I think medication has been a big thing for me and also therapy. But, I haven't been super consistent with therapy, but that's part of the reason why I want to come back to it now. Um, yeah, I've just kind of had this underlying depression and anxiety, but I think that for specific triggers, probably just general responsibilities with work and school. Um, yeah.
So, it sounds to me like when you get overwhelmed, that's kind of like a trigger.
Hmm.
Like when you get overwhelmed with school, with work, just all of your responsibilities together. When you put all of that in front of you, that's overwhelming to you, and it's kind of triggering that. I would say I know probably anxiety for sure. Um,
Hmm.
so when you get overwhelmed, what does that look like?
Oh, it depends on how bad the overwhelm is. I feel like since I've been on medication, it hasn't been as bad. I'm also on the spectrum, so what I thought were panic attacks were actually autistic meltdowns, and I didn't know that until I got older and got diagnosed and was able to look back on basically my entire life. Um, so it definitely varies. I
Okay.
think that the overwhelm that I feel now. Um, is more so shutting down than anything else. I feel like I kind of have to handle it on my own. I don't really feel like I have a giant support system of people to go to. I mean, my partner, but with everything that he's going through right now, I feel like my problems are on the back burner because I feel like it's important for him to be able to process what he's going through.
I definitely understand, and it's very considerate of you to consider what he's going through right now, opposed to your own problems. I think it's very, very brave of you to even consider that because some people don't have the capacity to be that considerate. So that's a very good thing. Um, I know you said that you are on the spectrum and you kind of just realized this really in your adult life, so you didn't really know. Now that you do know, was it easier for you to go back and look at situations and things that happened to you and your trauma to basically give you a better understanding of why that is or why you felt the way that you
Mhm.
did?
Definitely. It
Okay.
recontextualized my entire life. It helped me to see myself in a more positive light and not put as much pressure on myself. And it's really like been such a positive thing for me to learn that because I've been able to understand myself so much better.
I'm glad to hear that. I would assume that would be something very difficult to work through. Just thinking that all this time something was wrong, or like that you weren't strong enough to deal with the things that you were dealing with. When truthfully,
Mhm.
you had a whole thing that was
Mhm.
stopping you from being as, I guess, as available emotionally as you could be. Um,
Mhm.
as far as you being on the spectrum, are you receiving any other type of therapy services or anything for that? Or is this kind of a thing that we're just winging?
I mean, there's not really a ton of support out there for people like adults, especially people who are considered, I mean, I don't really like to say high functioning, but I am low enough support needs that there's not really much support out there, honestly. It would be nice if there was, but really it's just kind of my own coping skills.
Understandable. So what exactly is your coping skills for that?
It's I try to make sure that I know exactly what I should be doing. Like when I was younger, I did a lot of deep breathing, meditation, yoga, and it just kind of feels like even though I do have realistically 5 minutes out of my day to set aside and to try to do that, it's not really something that I ever do at this point. I know that I should be doing it, but really, I don't know. I feel like it almost takes a lot of motivation to do things that would make me feel better.
Um, so do you think at some point you may want to reincorporate that into your day, like where you can get in a headspace where you do feel motivated, or we can kind of find some things that may help you to feel more motivated to do that? Um, I know, I think it could be helpful if there's some type of, maybe not even just a meditation technique or something like that, but you could set out like 5 minutes of your day for just quiet time. It's just
Yeah,
you, your thoughts. Do you think that's something that will help?
definitely. And it's helped me in the past. It's just a matter of actually doing it. I don't know what's
Right. So I
preventing
think,
me from.
okay, so I think we need to get into a space where you have the motivation to actually do it. That's what
Right.
the problem is?
I think so. And I think it's also just a matter of procrastinating, I guess, of just putting it on. Because with everything else, it's almost like a matter of what's the most important. And I feel like that's an extra thing in my life that doesn't take priority over everything else.
Understandable. Um, what is your goal for counseling? What is it that you want to get out of counseling right now?
I guess to have someone to help work through those emotions that I feel like I'm not really working through on my own. Um, and also to help to get that motivation back to do the things that are helpful and yeah, figuring out some form of balance between everything that I'm doing.
Okay, so basically, you're really just wanting to have a confidant more than anything, someone that you can talk to about your problems and just speak freely about those things, and then also kind of find a way to prioritize what's important to you again.
Well, I don't want to just say that I'm here just to talk about my problems. I do want to set goals to do things that would better me. It's just I don't really know what those things are, aside from the things that I used to do, but that's again a matter of motivation and actually doing it.
Okay. So I think we could come up with the treatment plan that works best for you. I do think it'll probably be helpful with the counseling sessions just for you to just open up and get those things out and maybe get a different perspective on things, and also kind of have someone to help you set realistic goals for yourself so that you can work through prioritizing things and making sure you're okay emotionally, and then also while you're still trying to show up for your partner as well. Um, I do want to suggest, do you think that having your partner incorporated in some of your sessions would be helpful?
Maybe, but I don't know if it's something that he has the capacity for right now.
Right.
I
No,
think
now
if he
definitely not right
did.
now. I understand that things are very, very, very fresh. So I wouldn't, that's not something I would push for. But
Mhm,
I do think that maybe it could be conducive to both of you all's healing, just to be able to
mhm,
have sit down with someone and process those emotions together.
mhm.
Um but nonetheless, we can come up with a treatment plan that works best. Um, can you name a couple of the goals that you kind of want to work on so that way we can kind of get an idea of what this treatment plan is supposed to look like?
I'd like to engage in coping strategies better, like do it more often, or do it at all. I'm not really doing them at all. So doing things, using my coping strategies, using coping mechanisms.
Okay, so um, coping skills would basically be the main thing that you want to just work through as of right now.
Mhm. I think so.
Okay, and then I noticed at the beginning of the session you did bring up your relationship with your brother and your dad. What's the strain there?
Oh, it's a long story. They essentially did not turn out to be the type of people that I thought they were. I've always thought very highly of them, and they've done some things over the past couple of years that have really pushed me the wrong way and have kind of made me think that I probably don't want to pursue a relationship with them throughout my life just based off of their actions. Um, just treating people poorly and, generally not being the type of person that I'd want to be around.
Okay. So basically it just sounds like to me they've kind of disappointed you in a way that you feel it put a strain on you guys' relationship. Now, my question to you would be, because it kind of seemed like there was more that you wanted to say, but also at the same time, it's kind of like there's a blockage there that's keeping you from truly just opening up about it.
Mhm.
Um, can you tell me why, I guess why you had such high expectations for them? Like, was it something that happened in your childhood that just made you feel like they could always save you?
I think that they were role models to me when I was younger. And as things have changed, as we've all gotten older, I've kind of seen how they've changed and I've seen their true colors, and it's not positive. It's not something that I really want to be around.
Okay. Okay, I can definitely understand that, and I understand how you could look at someone as a role model, and once you get older and you look at them in a different light, you just see a totally different person, and that's difficult.
Mhm.
That's hard. So I definitely understand that. Now, I understand that right now you're really just wanting to work on like coping skills and basically prioritizing those things into your day on top of what you already have going on. Now, if at some point in the sessions you do feel like you want to talk more about your brother and your father and everything, even I know you said that the relationship with your mother has gotten a lot better and it's something that you've worked through. But if any
Mhm.
point you want to bring those things back up and kind of basically just get some things off your chest, or if you want to work towards having a relationship with them, that's more than welcome here. I want you to know and understand that this is a safe space. There's no reason at all for you to feel like you can't talk to me about anything. I do want you to know that I am here for you. I'm here to help you work through these things and just be the best version of yourself that you can possibly be.
Yeah.
Um, we are getting close to time for today's session, but I did want to touch base with you and just kind of ask you if there's anything that you're unclear on, anything you don't understand, anything about the informed consent, confidentiality, the intake process. Is there anything that you don't quite have an understanding of that you want to talk about?
I don't think so.
Okay. Would you like to go ahead and get your next session scheduled?
Sure.
Okay. What does your schedule usually look like?
I work Monday through Friday. I get off of work at 4:30. And then I'm usually home around like 5 or 5:15.
Okay. So I'm usually free in the evening time because I try to schedule most of my sessions earlier. So if you want to do either 5:30 or 6, I know some people, I know me personally, when I get home, I like to kind of take a breather, just get my mind together, get myself together. Would you like to do 6 just so you can have some time to wind down before your session?
Sure.
Okay, well, we can do 6 p.m. on Tuesday. How does that work?
That's perfect.
Okay. Well, Corey, it has been a pleasure today working with you. I look forward to working with you in the future. And if you do have any questions or concerns or anything, please let me know.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.